Please like this video and subscribe. I really want to reach my first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Before I even get into this, here's the point of why I'm telling it. A lot of men wait for a smoking gun before they move. They tell themselves they're being mature, patient, reasonable. What they're really doing is renting out their peace to someone who's testing how much disrespect they'll tolerate. This story is about catching the early signs, contradictions, tone shifts, the way your partner tries to shut down basic questions, and responding with calm, adult action instead of drama. Not yelling, not begging, not playing detective like it's a hobby. Just tightening boundaries, protecting your resources, and forcing clarity. Because when respect starts leaking out, love doesn't patch it. Décisions do. After midnight, the house was dark enough to feel empty, but I was wide awake. I was sitting on the living room couch in Austin, TV off, one lamp in the corner unplugged, just the quiet hum of the AC and my own thoughts. That's what happens when you work a firehouse schedule. Your body learns to stay alert even when you don't want it to. Then the front door gave a soft little squeak, like someone was asking permission to exist. Megan froze in the doorway. Not the normal, "Hey, I'm home" pause. This was the pause of a kid caught sneaking back in. I didn't move. I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her shape in the dark. "Where were you?" She tried to act casual, but her shoulders were stiff. "Dinner with Tara." I let the silence sit there for a second. "Tara." I repeated it like I was tasting something spoiled. "You told me today she's out of town this week." Her mouth opened, closed, then she did that little blink people do when their brain is rewriting fast. "She got back early," Megan said, "too quick, too clean." I leaned back. "Okay, so why didn't you text me?" She tossed her purse onto the entry table like it was heavy. "My phone died." "That's new," I replied. "Because you always text, even when you're running 5 minutes late to Target." She exhaled hard, annoyed that I was being calm. "Don't start, Cole. You're doing that thing again." "What thing?" "This." She waved her hand at me like I was a barking dog. "The paranoid thing." I didn't bite. I didn't chase the word. I kept it simple. You walked in after midnight. You didn't call. You didn't text. Your story changed in 5 seconds. Megan shifted her weight. "I'm not doing this." "You already are," I told her. She took a step forward, and that's when it hit me. Not her shampoo, not her lotion, a man's cologne. Something sharp and expensive and not mine. I didn't point at her. I didn't sniff like a cartoon character. I just said it. "You smell like somebody else." Her jaw tightened like a lock clicking shut. For a normal, innocent person, that's when you laugh. You roll your eyes. You say, "Oh my God, I hugged Tara's cousin and he's drenched in it," or "the restaurant was packed and some guy brushed past me." Megan did none of that. Instead, her face went flat. "Cold. I'm not going to stand here and defend myself against your imagination," she said. "Not imagination," I replied. "Facts." She took another step, eyes hard. "I don't do anything wrong." Then she added, too directly, like she was naming the accusation she wanted to control. "And I'm not doing anything behind your back." There it was. The line nobody says unless they're already negotiating with a secret. I nodded once, slow. She waited for me to explode. I could see it. She wanted the big reaction. The messy one. The one she could point at later. I didn't give it to her. I just stood up and walked past her toward the hallway. Megan called after me, sharp. "So that's it? You're going to do this silent punishment thing?" I stopped at the end of the hall and looked back. "No, yen surat. I'm going to do the clarity thing." And I went into our bedroom and shut the door. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have slept in my boots and saved myself the trouble of pretending this was just a weird night. The next morning, I didn't ask for another talk. I didn't circle the same questions like a tired dog. I pulled my suitcase from the closet, not with anger, with routine, like packing for a shift. Megan appeared in the doorway while I was folding shirts, hair messy, eyes swollen like she'd been up rehearsing what to say. "What you doing?" Her voice cracked. "Packing." "For what?" she asked, like she couldn't imagine consequences being real. I kept folding. "For space." She stepped in, palms out. "Cole, please. Don't do this. We can fix it." "Fix what?" "Ich glänzte her." "You haven't even said what happened." "Nothing happened," she insisted, too fast again. "I told you." I zipped a side pocket. You told me Tara was out of town. Then you told me she came back early. Then your phone died. Then you called me paranoid. Megan moved closer, trying to get into my bubble. I didn't call you paranoid. I said you were starting. That's a cute technicality, I replied. Tears came, right on schedule. I love you. I miss you. I don't want us like this. I tied my boots and stood, suitcase upright beside me. I'm tired of living in fob, Megan. Her eyes flashed. Fog? Really? You changed your story in front of me, I said. And you smelled like another man. Her face tightened again like last night. Oh my God, I didn't raise my voice. See? That. You keep acting like I'm crazy for noticing basic things. She grabbed my arm. You're leaving over a smell? I'm leaving over the lie that came with it. I corrected. And the way you try to shut me up. Megan squeezed my arm harder, like pressure could reset reality. You just going to walk out? After everything. I gently peeled her hand off. After everything. I'm finally going to respect myself. Her voice climbed. So you're punishing me? No. I rolled the suitcase toward the door. I'm removing myself from nonsense. She followed me into the living room, barefoot, frantic. Where are you even going? I rented a small place near an old bookstore and a laundromat. I said. Quiet. Simple. Her mouth opened. You did that already? Yes, I answered. That's what adults do when they need clarity. They prepare. That hit her harder than yelling would've. She stared at me like I'd pulled the floor out. You planned this. I planned peace, I replied. Megan's tone shifted. Tears stopped like a faucet. So you just what? Testing me. I grabbed my keys. I'm done being tested. At the door, she tried one more angle, soft voice, almost sweet. Come back tonight. Let's have dinner. Let's talk like normal. I looked at her calm. Normal ended after midnight. And I walked out. My apartment was tiny, clean, and quiet in a way our house hadn't been for months. The kind of quiet where you can hear your own standards again. At the firehouse, the guys noticed immediately. You can't hide anything from men who red smoke for a living. Captain Ruiz caught me in the bay while I was checking gear. He was in his 40s, shaved head, voice like gravel, the kind of man who doesn't waste words. You sleeping in your truck now? He asked. In an apartment, I replied. He nodded once. No vasi, no piti. Good. Keep your head clear. My buddy Marcus, loud, always hungry, always joking, leaned in like he couldn't help himself. Let me guess, Marcus said. She said you're overreacting. I gave him a look. He raised both hands. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I've heard that song. I kept it practical. I changed my direct deposit account that week. Not as a jab, as a boundary. I set my phone to keep everything in writing. Short messages. Logistics only. No late-night emotional boxing matches. Megan didn't like that. She started texting like nothing happened. Hey babe, hope you're okay. You coming by to grab mail? We should just talk like adults. I responded once. I'm good. Put anything important in a bag. I'll pick it up Saturday at noon. She called twice. I didn't answer. Then she tried the old trick, acting like I was being cruel for wanting basic respect. So I did what I do with fire, watch patterns. Not in a creepy movie way. No trench coat. No hiding in bushes. I already knew her routine. I knew when she went to yoga, what grocery store she liked, how she visited her sister when she wanted sympathy. So I just started writing it down. Times, places, changes. The annoying part? On paper, she looked normal. Yoga, grocery, sister's place, walk by the lake, nails, coffee, repeat. Normal is what makes you doubt your own gut. Normal is how people hide. I took my notes to a consultant a friend recommended, a guy named Vance. Older, calm, office smelled like paper and cheap coffee. He wasn't there to hype me up. He was there to explain reality. He flipped through my pages. You're looking for consistency, he said. I'm looking for truth, I replied. He tapped the paper. Truth usually leaves a trail. Sometimes the trail is what isn't there. No receipts, no clear explanations. A lot of clean stories. Clean stories can be strategic. So what do? I asked. Vance looked me straight in the eye. You keep your boundaries. You don't trade your dignity for comfort. And you stop letting her control the frame. I left his office feeling calmer. Not happy. Clear. A few days later, Megan showed up at my apartment. No warning. Of course. I opened the door, and she was standing there with a cardboard box in her arms like she was delivering my past. I brought something, she said softly. I stepped aside. Make it quick. She walked in and set the box on my small kitchen table. Inside were wedding photos, tickets from trips, little notes I'd written her back when I thought love was enough to cover disrespect. Her voice went gentle. Look at us. I didn't touch anything. What about us? We were good, she whispered. We were happy. I leaned against the counter. We were stable. That's different. Her eyes got watery again. I miss you. I hate that you're looking at me like I'm some stranger. Then stop acting like one, I replied. Megan opened a photo and slid it toward me. We can go back. Just come home. I kept my voice flat. Answer one question. She looked up. Okay. What happened that night? I said, and why did you lie? Her face tightened. Not tears. Not softness. Annoyance. I didn't lie, she snapped. I nodded slightly. There it is. She inhaled like she was offended by the existence of my question. You want to win, Cole? That's what this is. You want to be right so you can punish me. I want consistency, I answered, because that's what respectful adults do. Megan shoved the photo back into the box. Unbelievable. No. Ikurrakta. Very believable. You brought a box of memories, but you can't bring a straight answer. She stood, angry now. You're impossible. You sit there with that calm face like you're above it all. I shrugged. I'm not above it. I'm just not begging. She grabbed a box, slammed the lid down. Fine. Keep your little apartment. Keep your cold little rules. At the door she turned, trying one last jab. Don't act surprised when you end up alone. I held the door open. Don't act surprised when you realize comfort isn't the same as control. She left, door shutting hard enough to rattle my cheap picture frame. I didn't chase her, because if things were clean, she would have said the same story twice without needing a costume change. The invitation to the loft party came through a mutual friend, Jenna, the kind of social glue who loves gatherings and hates tension. Megan would be there. I knew it. I went for one reason, to see how she behaved when she thought the room was on her side. The loft was classic Austin. High ceilings, exposed brick, string lights, people holding cups like accessories. Megan was already in the center of it, dressed like she was auditioning for a life without consequences. She laughed too loud, touched people too casually, and there was a guy near her, tall, clean-cut, who she kept tapping on the arm like it was nothing. I didn't storm in. I didn't glare. I walked in, nodded at Jenna, and kept it calm. Jenna hugged me. Cole. Hey, you okay? I'm fine, he replied. Just here to say hi. Across the room, Megan's smile faltered for half a second, then came back sharper, like she'd decided to perform. She approached with that practiced sweetness. You came. Relax. I told her. I'm not here for a scene. She tilted her head, eyes narrowing. Could have fooled me. I looked past her at the guy. Who's that? Megan smiled like she was teaching me my place. A friend. The guy extended his hand. Ethan. I shook it firm, polite. Cole. Ethan looked a little uncomfortable. Megan didn't. Then Sienna Blake showed up near the kitchen island, and the temperature shifted. Sienna was one of Megan's friends, but friend is a loose word. Sienna was sharp, pretty, and the kind of woman who doesn't smile unless she's about to cut something open. She spotted me and lifted her cup. Well, look who decided to join civilization. I gave her a dry look. Try not to throw anything. She smirked. No promises. Megan's smile was tight. Sienna, be nice. Sienna's eyes flicked to Megan. I'm always nice. People just don't like honesty. That line landed like a weight. A little later, someone suggested a dare game. Adult people pretending they're still 20, except now they have mortgages and worse decisions. Sienna took control immediately. Of course she did. Okay, she announced, standing on a small rug like it was a stage. We're doing this fast. No boating, that is. People cheered. Jenna rolled her eyes, but she didn't stop it. Sienna pointed at a couple. You two. Swap phones for 5 minutes. Groans. Laughs. Then her gaze snapped to me. Cole, she said, loud enough for the room to hush a little. Your turn. Megan stiffened. Sienna smiled like she was enjoying a meal. I dare you to kiss me. The room went silent in that excited, messy way people get when they smell trouble. I didn't move. I didn't grin. I just looked at Sienna like she'd offer me something expired. Megan's voice sliced in. Are you serious? Sienna kept her eyes on me. What? It's a game. I could feel everyone waiting for me to perform. Either be the loyal husband, or be the angry guy, or be the embarrassed guy. I hate being cast, so I did the only thing that kept me in control. I stepped back and held up my hand. No. Sienna's eyebrows lifted. Noble. Megan exhaled like she'd won. Then Sienna shrugged and walked right up to me anyway. Before I could even fully process it, she grabbed the front of my shirt and kissed me, confident, deliberate, on purpose. People gasped. Someone laughed nervously. Someone dropped something in the kitchen. Megan exploded. What is wrong with you? She shouted. Not me first, at Sienna. How dare you? The panic in her voice wasn't the voice of a wife insulted. It was the voice of someone watching their hidden life get dragged into daylight. Sienna turned to Megan, wiping her mouth with the back of her hand like she'd done something messy. Oh, now you care about how dare you, Sienna said, loud and calm. That's adorable. Megan's eyes flashed. Stop. Right now. Sienna tilted her head. Stop what? Pointing out double standards. Megan's jaw was clenched so tight it looked painful. You're trying to embarrass me. Sienna's smile turned flat. You embarrassed yourself. Then Sienna said the sentence that cracked the room in half. How do you have a nerve? She asked Megan. After you were sneaking around with my husband? The air went thin. Jenna whispered, Oh my God, like she couldn't stop it from coming out. Megan's face drained. That's a lie. Sienna laughed once, sharp. Sure, that's why he kept the messages. Megan's eyes flicked around the room, searching for support, for a way to turn it into drama. Sienna kept going because she came prepared. You thought deleting a couple threads fixed it, Sienna said. You thought being busy and misunderstood would cover it. He saved everything. Megan looked at me, then, finally, like she remembered I was a human being and not a prop. I didn't ask a question. I didn't demand a confession. I picked up my jacket from the back of a chair and put on. That's it. No speech. No theatrics. Because the second you argue in public, you've joined the circus. I walked out. Megan chased me down the stairs and out into the night air, like she could still grab the steering wheel. Cole, she called. Cole, wait. I didn't speed up. I didn't slow down. I just kept walking toward my truck. She caught up and grabbed my sleeve. Don't listen to Sienna. She's bitter. She's always hated me. I glanced at her hand on my arm. Let go. She did, but her voice got sharper. You let her kiss you in front of everyone. I looked at Megan, calm enough to make her uncomfortable. That's what you're worried about. You embarrassed me, she snapped. I almost laughed. You still think this is about you. Megan stepped closer, eyes bright with anger now. You always do this. You sit there and act so controlled, like you're judging everyone. I'm not judging, I replied. I am deciding. She scoffed. Deciding what? That you're perfect. I opened my truck door, then paused. Megan, I said, I already filed the papers. Her face changed so fast, it was almost impressive. What? I filed, I repeated. Before tonight. She blinked hard. You can't do that without talking to me. I can, I answered. I did. Her voice went high. So you planned this too? You set me up. I shut my door slowly, not slamming it, just closing it like a final period. No, I told her. You set yourself up. I just stopped standing under it. Megan's eyes filled, but it wasn't sadness. It was loss of control. She tried one more attack because that's her reflex. You're smug. You're cold. You just watch people fall apart. I nodded once. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just done carrying your story for you. She reached for the handle, like she might stop me from leaving. I looked her dead in the eye and said the only sentence that mattered. I left a long time ago. You're just catching up to the fact. Then I started the engine and drove away, leaving her in the parking lot with all the noise she'd been making. After that night, Megan tried a different tactic. A sweeter one. The look how supportive I am routine. She texted me early one morning. I made you breakfast. I can drop it off at the station. No fighting. Just peace. I stared at the message for a second, almost impressed. She wasn't trying to apologize. She was trying to re-enter the building through a side door. I replied, Don't come to my work. Keep this between us. She ignored it. An hour later, I walked out of the bay, and there she was in the parking lot with a bag in her hands and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Marcus saw her first. Cole. Captain Ruiz stepped beside me, watching like he was reading weather. Megan lifted the bag. I brought food. I thought he might not be eating. I didn't move closer. I didn't whisper. I made it clean and public because some boundaries need daylight. Megan, I said, steady, you're not coming on his station property to perform. Her smile twitched. Perform? Yes, I replied. You want the guys to see you as the caring wife. That's not happening. Marcus muttered, yikes, under his breath, but he stayed quiet. Megan's face hardened. I'm just trying to be nice. You can be nice somewhere else, I told her. From now on, communication is text only. Logistics only. If you show up here again, I won't come outside. Captain Ruiz didn't say a word. He didn't have to. His presence was the line. Megan looked around, realizing she wasn't the director of this scene. She lowered the bag slowly. So this is who you are now. I gave her a small shrug. This is who I should have been earlier. She left the bag on the hood of her car like she wanted proof she tried, then walked off with stiff steps, head high, like pride could feed her. That was her second illusion. Exaggerated sweetness, public support, a staged version of we're fine. It didn't work because it wasn't aimed at my heart. It was aimed at my image. And I don't rent out my image anymore. In the weeks that followed, everything got quieter, but the consequences got louder. Megan stopped cooperating with basic logistics. She'd forget to leave documents in the bag. She'd delay things. She'd act like the process didn't exist unless it served her. So I tightened it again. I moved the last of my stuff out when she wasn't home. I changed the way bills were handled. I stopped funding the life she was trying to keep while rewriting the rules behind my back. And when it came time for the formal meeting, boring paperwork, signatures, adults finishing what they started, Megan didn't show. She texted an hour after. I'm not participating in your power trip. I stared at it, then typed back. Not showing up doesn't freeze reality. It just means you lose choices. Sienna, for her part, did something I didn't expect. She sent a message through Jenna. Tell Cole I'll confirm what I said. I'm not protecting her. That was the difference between chaos and clarity. People who tell the truth don't need to manage it. They just state it and stand there. After that, Megan's stable base started crumbling in practical ways. The comfortable life she guarded, house routines, couple reputation, easy money flow, social circle, stopped obeying her. Friends got quiet. Invitations dried up. People didn't want the drama near their own marriages. Her control turned into a lonely echo. She tried to call me one night late. I didn't answer. She texted, "So you're really done?" I replied, "I've been done. You just ran out of room to pretend." That was the last real message we exchanged. Months later, my life looks cleaner than it did inside that marriage. I kept my job at the Austin Firehouse. I picked up a better shift rotation. I moved into a modest house that feels like mine. No tension in the walls, no icy silence in the kitchen. I bought a truck I actually wanted, not the responsible choice we negotiated. Funny how responsibility feels lighter when you're not being managed. I started seeing someone new, not as a rebound, not as a trophy. A grown woman who speaks straight, doesn't play games, and treats respect like the baseline, not a prize. My buddies come over on weekends. We grill. We talk. We laugh like men who aren't walking on verbal landmines. As for Megan, I don't keep tabs. I just hear the occasional update through the same social network she used to rule. Smaller apartment, different job, different friend group, less sparkle, more reality. And that's the thing about control. It looks powerful until the person you're controlling calmly steps out of reach. What I learned from all this is simple, and it's not motivational poster stuff. First, contradictions matter more than charm. Megan didn't get caught because of one late night. She got caught because her stories changed on the fly, and she tried to silence a basic question with labels like paranoid. The moment your partner starts punishing curiosity instead of answering it, you're not in a partnership. You're in a management system. Second, boundaries don't work if they're just speeches. The only reason I got my clarity is because I moved first. I packed. I changed the rules. I took space. I protected my money and my time. If I'd stayed to talk it out 20 more times, all I would have earned is more fog and a slower exit. Third, don't fight for your reputation inside someone else's theater. That loft party could have turned into me shouting, pointing, demanding. That would have made me a character in Megan's story. Instead, I put my jacket on and left. Calm action beats emotional performance every time. What would have been a mistake? Begging for honesty from someone committed to avoiding it. Negotiating respect like it's a coupon. Staying for peace while your gut is screaming. Peace without dignity is just quiet damage. The win isn't making someone regret what they did. The win is building a life where their games can't reach you anymore.